I miss proper expansions, the days of Shivering Isles or Lords of Destruction, where you would be opening up a whole new section of game or a new way of playing. It's something that you rarely see today in games. We have DLC now, small additions instead of huge fundamental changes, but we do still have expandalones, the bastard child of expansion packs and whole games, not large enough for a new game, not small enough to be sold as DLC. Dishonored 2 was a very good game, although it did have some issues, for me especially with the chaos system. See the video in description for further details. In short, it felt like it surfaced too much information to the player, in the end becoming restrictive to playstyle. The game quite regularly lets you know that playing a certain way will have consequences, giving you updates at the save screen and end of every level. This had the effect of restricting my playstyle, leaving me to play the entire series as the quiet, concealed choker, even though there were clearly other options, seemingly fun ones. Even with this in mind, it did have some of the best, intricate, well-designed levels out there. Entire areas that will probably have a chapter dedicated to them in the handbook of level design. Arcane have a skill for incidental storytelling and all, making these places feel lived in and interesting, building up your familiarity to the type of world you were playing in. Although you could say Karnaca was a little similar to Dunwall, the people being practically the same and even using the over-repeated lines of dialogue. And even with the bad launch, it was patched up and is fine to play now. And it actually made me think more about design than I had in quite a while. So the announcement of Death of the Outsider was a good one for me, one to look forward to, and it was worth looking forward to. Really good game overall, but it does some things different. Some small key changes along the way which create what may be my favourite mechanically in the series, and that's something I want to dive into today. So my name is Billy and welcome to Diginauts, where we are using Death of the Outsider to look at how smaller changes can affect a game. We don't often get this sort of opportunity, one where two games are built on the same foundations, but with some changes. This is noticeable because it allows us to examine how these changes affect the player's interactions with the game, and how this may elicit a different response from the player. You can compare these two experiences and see how they could be very similar but might have some huge differences. It lets us more deeply look at the potential causes for these effects and see some of the complexity of the choices developers make during game design, as these can change a player experience. So what did Death of the Outsider do? Well, I think the first place we should look is at the changes to the toolkit that the player has available. From powers to items, seems fairly similar at first glance to the previous games, but even small changes here can make a big difference. For instance, Billy's movement ability, a staple ability type for the series. Corvo and Dowd had their blink, and Emily her far reach. Each works in a slightly different way, but neither was completely game changing. Displace allows you to mark a spot where you want to teleport to, and then, as long as you keep a line of sight, pick when you teleport to it. You can also displace directly into an enemy body, doing some harm to you but causing them to explode into tiny pieces, instantly making the ability have a fun aspect as well as utility. So one use of this is to set up a marker before combat, kill someone and then dive straight back out to the confusion of your enemies. A useful skill in Karnaca. Next is your vision power. In previous Dishonored, your vision skill just allows you to see through walls. Well, just may be the wrong word there. This allowed you to tactically plan out your next move and not get surprised, something very useful in trying to maintain your stealthiness. But this allows even more. Everything now stops. Well, apart from your cone of vision, which can now be moved around, letting you see where the enemies are, where they're going to walk and various goodies to nick, and one key other thing. It lets you place markers for the displace ability. You see, in Dishonored, assassins are always shown to dart towards the target, catching them unaware and taking them out. Well, this is what combining of the foresight vision ability and displace the movement ability gives you. A chance to figure out your plan of attack, mark it out and complete. Something I've used regularly throughout this game, something that would not be possible in the previous games. You do also have the ability to take the look of an NPC, a nice addition for infiltration, although I use it less to sneak past and more to sneak up on. It did lead to one fun section in a mansion, taking face after face, working through a whole group of guards in quick succession. Now, all of these abilities take mana, a staple to the Dishonored series. As you use your abilities, it depletes. After each ability, if you didn't allow some cooldown time, it will replenish depending on the power of said ability. If you didn't let it replenish, you would have to scoff down a Piero's Remedy or the Adamaya solution, the mana potions of this world. Again, a small change here. You have infinite mana of sorts. You still have a bar, but it replenishes fully by itself, so just limiting the amount of abilities you can use in a row. So instead of using a power and waiting, then using a power, you get something more like this. A string of abilities in a row, careful planning to line them up and boom and go. A slow build up and some intense action and it's over. So we've seen how what may seem like small changes to the powers can change the feel of the game, although there is something larger that is different. The Chaos System. The Chaos System. As already discussed in a previous video, this was something that I felt was too limiting on the player, giving you a prescribed right way to engage with the game, which when you have built a series of complex interacting systems, the player should be encouraged to have fun with them, not turned away. Well, this game changes that and allows that. The intro to the game is you on the dreadful whale, your boat, looking for your mentor to make up for a past grievance. As you chase down your first lead in town, there are some guards blocking your way. Now at this stage, the previous games usually let you know about the Chaos System, that your actions will have narrative implications. Having made a video on this was something that was already on my mind, something I was already cognizant of. But no, nothing. No pop-up. No more penalties for being spotted or killing. No more quick load and quick save if situations go wrong. This led to situation after situation of me setting out a plan of how to beat something, going for it and allowing the systems to play out. One of my favourites is a side mission to acquire some poppy tincture from an auction. The game motions to you gaining a disguise to gain access to the auction quite heavily. Instead I got high up, planned out my displaces and, well, this is the scene of the Empress getting killed. It's a kick-ass assassin and thief. It's using the systems in place to achieve a goal. Yeah, I got spotted, but thematically in this world that was so damn cool. Maybe going into this game with the expectations of there being a chaos system meant I went a bit silly once I've been given the freedom. But I would argue that some of the best and most interesting moments I've had with these games is when I have this freedom to try and solve these interactive puzzles in various ways. As soon as I got over this need to stay stealthy, this sort of quick save, quick load mentality, I actually had a lot more fun and the game became way more interesting to me. It was some of the best times I've had with the series. Yes, changing the abilities and mana did have an effect, but honestly, most of this came from the chaos system being gone. So with that in mind, thank you for watching. If you like this sort of thing, then drop a like and subscribe, and there are some social media links in the description where I will be arsing around on Twitter. So, my name is Billy. Peace.